Be sure to order your copy of the Go-Go Offense by Coach Brennan Marion on footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Coach Marion goes through the ins and outs of his explosive offense, one that's tearing up the college football field and putting a lot of points on the scoreboard. Again, you can order your copy at footballgameplan.com/GoGoOffense. Don't forget to order your copy of our 2020 NFL Draft Prospect Guide. You can find that on our website at footballgameplan.com/2020 Draft Guide. You'll get full scouting reports on over 650 prospects for this upcoming draft class. Welcome to Football Game Plan, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our Miami Dolphins 7-round mock draft video. And before we get started, let's take a look at the mock draft rules. The Dolphins really got out in front of free agency before the country shut down, and they really added some frontline starters to knock out a lot of their needs prior to the draft. Adding Byron Jones, Eric Flowers, and Kyle Van Noy takes three major needs off the table right away and adds three starters at cornerback, guard, and linebacker respectively. Outside of those three, they also added a bevy of players that will play key roles on this year's squad. And when you add in the fact that they have 14 selections in this draft class, they can really just add and stockpile talent and build talented depth. With their first of three picks in round one, I took the best quarterback in the draft in Joe Burrow out of LSU. Burrow made big strides from his junior season and has the mental and physical toughness to be exactly what Miami needs at that position. And I'm a big fan of tackle Austin Jackson out of USC. With the way the mock draft fell, there was a run on offensive tackles early, so I couldn't wait until later in the round or next round to grab one. Jackson is going to be an excellent pro, in my opinion. With their last pick in round one, I added the explosive and dynamic DeAndre Swift out of Georgia to the backfield. His game reminds me a lot of LaShawn McCoy and would be the type of back the Fins needed since Ricky Williams donned the aqua and orange way back in the early parts of the 2000s. Early in round two, I went with Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, who can play either center or guard up front. He can compete at both spots initially and would more than likely end up starting at one of them regardless of who's currently there. Kyle Duggar out of Lenore-Ryan would give Miami an athletic move piece in the secondary. He can play strong safety, nickel backer, and match up versus tight ends and backs if need be. I think he's a tremendous talent. And I'm a big fan of Luke Barku's game out of San Diego State. He has tremendous instincts, matchup skills, and the ability to take the ball away. You can't have enough of these type of guys in your secondary. In the fourth round, I went back to the offensive line and added another tackle in Charlie Heck out of North Carolina. He had an excellent all-star game circuit starring in both the East-West Shrine Bowl and Senior Bowl this past January. I like the versatility of Josiah Coatney out of Ole Miss. He's capable of playing any one of the techniques up front, providing good quality depth along the defensive line. And with their second of three fifth-round picks, I wanted to add an explosive vertical threat in the passing game in Gabriel Davis out of UCF. I like how physical and aggressive he is after the catch. And rounding out their fifth-round selections with nose tackle John Penasini out of Utah, he figures to be a good rotational piece up front along the defensive line for head coach Brian Flores. In the sixth round, I added more depth up front with Washington center Nick Harris. He was an underrated piece up front for the Huskies his entire career. With 3 seventh-round picks, the focus was for me to add good developmental talent while also strengthening the special teams unit. Cornerback Isiah Swann out of Dartmouth is one of my favorite corners in the draft class. Very instinctive and savvy out there on the perimeter with tremendous ball skills. Bryce Sterk out of Montana State was a pass rushing problem for offenses in the Big Sky, and he can be that for offenses in the NFL. Drew Wiley out of Villanova can play all three linebacker spots and is also very good in coverage as well. Some teams even view him as a potential fullback, so he's your ideal developmental talent that you run on your roster who can be a core special teamer. So that's a wrap for our 7-round mock draft video for the Miami Dolphins. Be sure to follow me on all of my social media accounts, and don't forget to check out and subscribe to the Football Game Plan Network located at youtube.com/footballgameplan. Also subscribe on iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating. You subscribe to Football Game Plan Podcast, that is. And pick up a copy of our 2020 NFL Draft Guide. You can find that at footballgameplan.com/2020 Draft Guide. And don't forget to check out every Thursday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Game Plus Network, our Scout Team TV show. Again, check with your cable provider for channel listings.